Hey everyone. Yeah, I've got about 13 minutes before I go back to work. I'm on my lunch right now. Hope you're having a safe President's Day. But I wanted to come on here mainly because I wanted to talk about something that I've talked about before, and it kind of pertains to the rescue rangers and everything. And that is, basically whether or not we're going to get the revelation of maybe the fact that Gadget may have chose somebody out of the two, that being Chip and Dale, and why more than likely it could be Dale that she chose. And I'm not saying it's based off, one of the scenes in the trailer, which I do apologize to anybody that feels I may have spoiled it. That wasn't the intention, because everybody else has shown these scenes, shot by shot from the trailer. So, I did. So honestly, I do apologize if I offended anybody in that manner. But the thing is, like I said, I'm not just basing it off this one scene, in the trailer, but the fact, of the matter being, we know that the movie basically is going to be, a meta version of the Rescue Rangers. In other words, it's going to, talk about, how they became the Rescue Rangers, on screen in a show, as well as basically outside of it as close friends and stuff. And, that's all cool and everything, kind of taking what a lot of people call the Roger Rabbit approach to the whole scenario. But when I think about what we could learn here, one of the things that any kind of movie of this caliber, or this genre, if you will, that goes this direction will do, is they will take basically some of the actors and the actresses in the show and have them outside of the show, behind the scenes, if you will, basically end up together. And the reason, sorry about that, and the reason I say that, the reason I bring that up is because, I think it would be honestly something if it gets revealed that Dale and Gadget at least, throughout, after the show ended and, going their separate ways, that at least Dale and Gadget may have hooked up together, and became more than friends, but then went back to just being friends because maybe, Dale started to, do the con circuit and all that, and Gadget started to do her own thing, and it just, wasn't working out, from a relationship standpoint. So maybe they agreed to remain friends. So I wouldn't put it past, the people behind the movie along with Disney to probably bring that up, because by doing so, what you're doing is addressing, in a sense, finally answering, in a sense, very meta-wise, that is, the question that a lot of fans have always wondered: who would she choose? And I look at how the synopsis of the story goes, and the fact that we, again, I'm not basing it totally on that scene from the trailer, but the fact that we see them in that scene together by themselves, along with Zipper, but mainly by themselves, it really makes you wonder if maybe, this might, in a meta way, give us the answer that we've been wondering, as fans, since the show was on. And that is, who would Gadget end up with? And like I said, the way these kind of stories play out sometimes, the way they're always, written to go in a certain direction, I wouldn't put it past them to do it. I wouldn't put it past Disney. I wouldn't put it past the Lonely Island boys, if you will. I wouldn't put it past any of them to address the matter, answer the question, in that way. Because when you really think about it, again, I go back to the fact that, yes, I understand that Chip and Dale had individual love interests outside of Gadget. There was, of course, before the Ranger days, Khalees. I understand that. But in the show, there was Tammy in the first couple of episodes, and yet uh, basically the episode known as Adventures in Squirrel City. She was in, which was one of the first couple of episodes, is what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to do this in a hurry before I have to go back to lunch. I do apologize. But like I said, she was the first to be an outside love interest, and that was the Chip. And then later on, towards the end of the show, we had Good Times, Bat Times, which debuted Foxglove. And of course, we know that after that, Foxglove went on to be a cult favorite, among fans, even to the point that she got her own website dedicated to her, and basically rocketed her to being one of the more popular one-shot characters to appear in a Disney afternoon show. And because of that episode, she became a love interest to Dale outside of Gadget. And when you look at the Boom Studio comics, it seems that Ian Brill, being a fan himself, tried to continue that in some manner, as I check something here. But like I say, he tried to continue that in some manner to, basically allude to the fact that, Dale may have, may have moved on from Gadget, probably still has feelings for her, but now he's kind of in an on and off thing with Foxglove because he's somebody that actually wants to, hang around with him and be with him. I mean, like I said in my 2.5 hour live stream I did a week ago, about my love for the fandom and the movie itself, I brought up the comic where we meet her father, and Ian didn't have to go that route. He did not have to go in that direction, to that extent, to introduce us to essentially a one-shot character's father, if he wasn't a supporter of the ship himself. But he also knows that fans, even though they find the ship cute, may not be in favor of it as much as they might be in favor of, let's say, Dale and Gadget. Which is why at the end of one of the issues, if not the final issue, he said basically, he basically said that Dale and Foxglove were on and off. Kind of basically alluding to the fact that at times they would be boyfriend, girlfriend, at times they would just be friends. And that was it. And everybody was kind of cool with that. Because it was a very, very, humble answer, saying, there is something there between them that's more than friendship, but I also understand that, fans still like the fact that Dale would go after Gadget or try to chase after her or win her over, like Chip. So I like the fact that, he left the door open by doing it that way. But again, going back to what I said here, you look at the fact that outside of those one-shot love interests that they brought in, it was always been about Gadget. It's always been wonderment by the people, by the fans, of whether or not she would choose one over the other. Even though she got her own kind of episode that kind of put her out, kind of gave her a crush, a love interest outside of the team with Sparky, that still led to nowhere. That still led to nowhere, and the ending basically upped the stakes, or not up the stakes, but kind of upped the ante of, okay, who is she going to choose, right? Who would it be? And usually when, like I said, shows like this happen, and you see movies, unauthorized, meta, whatever, based around the concept of, telling the story about these characters or these actors and actresses outside the show, behind the scenes, it always alludes to the fact that maybe sometimes, one or the other, one of them gets together. Like the male and the female get together, or one of the males get together with the female. And in this case, it could be someone like Gadget. Gadget could be put in that scenario to where, when the show is canceled, like I said, maybe she and Dale ended up together because Chip wanted to be domesticated and he wanted to just live out the rest of his life or whatever. And both Dale and Gadget sought out more than that. So maybe they ended up having a relationship outside of the show, or after the show was done, that, like I said, may have not lasted long. And because, Dale wanted to tour the con circuit, kind of relive his glory days, and Gadget wanted to do her own thing. Maybe it was a mutual breakup, to where, hey, we'll remain friends, but we'll never forget what we had together. Just saying. I'm just saying. I would not put it past the Lonely Island Boys or anybody behind the scenes of this movie, to answer the question that we fans for a long time have been wondering about since the show began, and do it in such a way that's not just still meta, but gives us kind of an answer, even though it's not, the way we were thinking it would be. Which, to me, if that happens, proves what a lot of us have been wanting for a while, have been pretty much speculating for a while, was the plan from the get-go. And that was putting Dale and Gadget together, when it's all said and done. And like I said, if this is one way of addressing that, and alluding to that happening, or had happened kind of deal, then, again, it's better than nothing, if you will. It's better than nothing. But what do you guys think? Do you think we'll get that question answered of who Gadget chose? And do you think Dale and Gadget's relationship outside of the show will be revealed in the movie if they choose to do so in a meta way? Let me know down below in the comments. Live chat during the premiere. Where super chats and super stickers are available, or not available, but are open, would be appreciated. Also, check me out at my Teespring store. Also, check me out at BW Roses Discussions, all your favorite podcast locations, except for Pandora. Also, check me out at VENMO at BW Roses. Check me out at Cash App at BW Roses 98. Also, check me out at Venmo at Brian-Warmer-2 and at Patreon at BW Roses. But until next time, guys, let me know what your thoughts are. And I'm out. I gotta get back to work.